and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday. It is the weekly energy card reading, and what that is you, the viewer, get to choose from one of 3 tarot or oracle, and we'll go through and do a quick spread to see what the general energies will be like for the next 7 days. It does not need to be the week of September 4th through the 11th in order for the messages to resonate. If you come across this reading at any time, there may be little nuggets of information contained. There is a saying in card reading, we always say take what resonates and leave the rest. And that just basically means that if you feel like a message is not resonating, you do not need to take it. We are just interpreting symbols, and that can be very interpretable. So, you don't have to take something if it doesn't seem to resonate for you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the reading. If I sound a little funny, my jaw is kind of bothering me this week, so it's nothing bad, but I am, I'm taking steps to remedy the issues, but I do talk a lot in my daily life, so if I seem a little slow in speech or if I seem a little staggered, it's because my jaw is bothering me a little bit, but I'm okay, and it's going to be okay. It always gets better, but just to let you know, if I sound a little funny, that's the reason why. But as always, we have 3 tarot decks here. I like to keep my decks into rotation. So the first deck we have is the Starseeker Tarot by the Van Mystic. And on top of it, we have a beautiful amethyst double point quartz. The second deck we have is the Zillich Tarot, and it is produced by US Games. And on top of it, we have a beautiful green fluorite. And this is kind of a mini deck. The last deck that we have is my beloved Morgan Greer, also produced by US Games. And on top of it, we have a piece of sea glass that was actually gifted to me. So it's very special. Now, usually I pair like an oracle deck to kind of flesh out the reading. I decided that it has been a while since we used the charms dish. And actually, a few days ago, just yesterday, I bought 2 new charms. I can't find the other charm. The other charm is a little earth globe with a heart on it. But on top of the other charm that I got is a little pea in a pod. And I love this because I've never found a charm like this. It's just a little silver charm that looks like 2 peas in a pod, And I like to think of it when 2 people are really getting along or really understanding one another. And so I've gone ahead and added that to the charms dish. So we're going to pull out our beloved charms bowl. So I'm really excited. I use this on the regular for myself, and I just think it's great. It's such a hodgepodge of all the little things that I've collected over time. So it's honestly, I think the bowl that it's in is technically a soup bowl, but I kind of use it as a collection place for all of my charms. So, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna clarify with charms. But enough blabbing, I will go ahead and let you choose. I do ask that you please choose from your intuition. If you need more time, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. I'm going to go ahead and move up the other decks. Yes, and again, guys, it's been a really long week. I'm a little emotionally drained this week, but that's nothing new. Another day, another drama, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and again, as always, I always get really recharged when I do your readings. So I channel your positive energy. So I'm so grateful for my watchers and my viewers, and I'm so thankful that you're here. So deck number 1, we have the Starseeker Tarot by the Van Mystic, and we have the Amethyst Quartz. This is actually the very first stone that I ever bought for tarot, for New Age, for anything. So, all right, so what's your energy? Deck number 1, what's your energy? What's our energy for the week? Ooh, okay. Ooh, we've got the Magician, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles. This deck has a very thick cardstock, so sometimes it kind of comes out in chunks. Okay, middle of the week, please. Ooh, thank you. End of the week. What's our energy? The end of the week. Oh, that's a nice end of the week energy. Any clarifiers for the lovers? Five of Pentacles is trying to come out. Strength. Moon. Okay. I'm just gonna... Wow, I am getting a story here, guys. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pull your charms now. This gets a little loud, so if you're sensitive to noise, and I know I'm sensitive to noise, my ears are point of collision. Please turn down the volume in 3, 2, 1. Wow, okay. Alright, I'm going to just put this to the side for a minute until we pull this back out. Alright guys, so beginning of the week, we've got the Queen of Pentacles and crowned by the Magician. And this is amazing, guys. First off, I think that you're a very intellectual person with the book being on the table. You know, it's funny, you know, I have some stuff going on in my life right now, and I'm an English major, so I always seem to compare things going on in my life to like the literature I've read, and I've been comparing a lot of things to like Orwell and Huxley, like Brave New World in 1984 lately. But I get the sense like over the weekend and the beginning of the week, you're ready to tackle challenges, because you see the mountain in the background. It kind of, mountains mean challenge. You're ready to tackle challenges with the elements that you have on the table. You know, like the money. And the funny thing is he has two hands on his coin right there. So it's I really get it. And this is the Queen of Pentacles too. I get the sense like the biggest concern that you have is what you've invested in, like what material value you have. Like, I get the sense, first off, I get that you're a very practical person. But what's beautiful about this energy is like you're very grounded. Over the weekend, you're very grounded. Like you're not worried about the challenges that are coming towards you, because you have a plan. And I get the sense like you're very intelligent, Pile 1. You're very intelligent. And I feel like you get this intelligence either from some kind of book knowledge, and it doesn't have to be stodgy or formal, or, you know, like you reading Encyclopedia Britannica or anything like that. But I think that you just have this kind of spiritual kind of anchor in the way, you know, I feel like you have like a new beginning. The other thing I see is I see a lot of snow here, so I kind of feel like things are frozen right now. Like maybe things are at a pause in your life and you're taking time to decide what you're going to do. But you know what course you want to take, and the course you want to take is really from your own, it's from your own earth knowledge. I kind of get two things from the Queen of Pentacles. She's an earth mother. Like she understands the real world practicality of things. And the best way I can describe this, and this was actually told to me by my grandmother, who was the sweetest, most genuine person. This is my paternal grandmother. This is my father's mother. And she was so quiet, but she was so smart. And I remember one time she looked at me and she goes, "You can be book smart and you can be street smart, but you need a little bit of both to survive in this world." And what she meant is that you can study all the books in the world, you can go to school for 20 years, but what you learn in books is not the same thing as real world, right? You have to go out in the world and really experience things and know how it really works, right? How it works. And I think you have both. You have the education of both spheres here, Pile 1. I think you understand, like, right now things are at a pause, and you notice how there's mountains in the background of the Queen of Pentacles, but there's also mountains. There's a lot of snow here, guys. But there's a bunny, which represents prolific, like there's still growth. And you see how he has both hands on the coin there, and you have a coin at your feet. I think you know how, if you're in a tough situation, or if you need things in your life to progress forward, if you're faced with some kind of challenge, you understand what kind of security that you already have in your life. You understand the investments you already have. Maybe you own a home, maybe you have stocks, maybe you have a 401k. You understand what is grounding you financially, or what is of value in your life. And you know what's on the table. You know what elements that you already have in your life. And I know this sounds dorky, but you know how sometimes when you're hungry and you walk over to the pantry and you're like, okay, I got some pasta, I got a can of tomato sauce, and I got like one chicken breast in the freezer. I can make some freaking chicken Alfredo right now, right? Or some chicken fettuccine. You know what elements you have in your life that you can already work, you can build upon. But I do think the other thing is that if you're in North America, this weekend is a holiday weekend, so maybe things are at a standstill, which I kind of see with the snow. Like maybe there's something that's kind of frozen right now, like nothing's moving, something's at a pause, or there's some kind of challenge that's got you kind of frozen in time. But you're planning, and this is the best kind of planning, guys. This isn't fearful. This isn't afraid of the future. It's almost like you're taking stock of what you've already earned. The other thing I get with the Queen of Pentacles is she knows her own worth. Like she puts a value on her self-worth. And it's funny, personally, this is something that I've really been reflecting upon lately. There are times in our life where we just kind of write off on how far we've come. And there are a few times in my life where I'm just like, I've invested 20 years of my life into the knowledge of something. Like I know how to do this really freaking well. I've done it for 20 years. And sometimes there's moments in life where you just you put all the elements on the table going, look, if I have to make a decision on what to do, I'm not like 18. I'm 38 and figuring this out, right? It's like one of those moments where you're just like, okay, I have to sum up. I have to take an evaluation of how far I've come and what I've got on the table. And I've got pasta, I've got tomato sauce, I've got some raw chicken. I can make something out of this. I've got 20 years of experience in my job. I've got this, I've got that. I've got this much money in the bank. I can go here and here and here from here. So I do get the sense like over the weekend, it's almost like you're evaluating a few things. It's funny, the Seven of Pentacles didn't come out. Queen of Wands. Damn. I'm sorry, it's not funny. Oh, pile one, you're rocking it. You're not afraid. You're not afraid. And the funny thing is, I don't see a single king here. I see queens. And when I see queens, that means that this is a feminine, intuitive, and you can be a man watching this. This is coming from your heart center. You know how far you've come. You know what you have. You know the value of what you've invested. And even if things are in frozen right now, if things are at a standstill right now, you know where you can go from here. You know that. And you know it very confidently. And this is beautiful. Middle of the week, got the freaking Chariot. Okay, can we talk about where do I go from here? And the thing about the Chariot is that you know how you have opposing forces. The Chariot really talks about like willpower. It talks about balance, but Chariot is about like two horses that are trying to go opposite directions, but the chariot kind of reins them together. And this is a lot of moon energy. It's a Cancer, like the sun sign Cancer card. And it's funny, in my own chart, if you know your own astrology chart, I have a lot of Libra and Cancer, which are squares to one another. It's a lot of cardinal air and a lot of cardinal water. But the Chariot is a Cancer card, and it does talk about, like, when you look at your own chart astrologically, you have a sun and a moon. And sun is ego, your sense of self, or the way the world sees you. Then you have the moon, which is that instinctual, I know this to be right kind of gut instinct. And sometimes it's hard to get those two to go the same direction, which is what you see with the Chariot. It's like, okay, it's the way the world sees me, the way that the image that I project to the world, is it the same as how I feel inside? It's almost like in the middle of the week, you're bringing those two in unison. And it takes willpower. It takes strength to make those two horses go the same direction. But the beautiful thing about the Chariot is when it's in the upright, when you get your ego and you get your sense of emotions going on the same path, you go faster. It's like, holy crap, by the sheer will of me saying that how I feel inside and the image that I project to the world, they're both in sync. They are both going the same direction. And two horses are faster than one, right? And they're sure as heck faster than two horses going opposite directions, right? It takes a lot of willpower. But these two are major arcanas, guys. You've got 3 major arcanas. Actually, you've got 5 in this reading. This week is a very powerful week of change for you. And it feels good. It feels good. The other thing about, a lot of times, sometimes your emotions can be hidden from the world. It's like what you feel inside is not really what you display at work, or not really what you display to other people. And here you've got those two energies in sync. Now, so by the middle of the week, you're really getting both the dark and the light. Like, you're not letting fear dominate what you want to do. And I do sense, like, over the weekend and into Monday, I do think things are kind of at a standstill, but you've got a plan. You know what you're going to do. And by the middle of the week, it's like all systems go. And your sense of ego and your sense of emotional, like your emotional compass, are both on track. They're on the same path, so to speak. Now, this is interesting. By the end of the week, you've got the Lovers. And underneath the Lovers, you've got the 5 of Pentacles. And underneath the 5 of Pentacles, you've got Strength and the Moon. You've got several moon cards here, guys. I think by the end of the week, I am getting a strong sense like you've got some kind of change going on in your life. You've got a big change going on in your life. 7 is an odd number, and that's the Chariot. 5 is an odd number. But what I'm really seeing is, I see that you have something that's really has the potential of knocking you down, but you've got a plan, which is great. I think this is a big kind of life change for you. It could be world events, or maybe something that's going on that's really kind of rocking your world. But what I see by the end of the week is you have someone who is there for you. Look how beautiful this is. It's funny. I just had my good friend sent me a picture of a rainbow today. He sent me a picture of a rainbow today, and I feel like you have a support system. And the Lovers doesn't have to be romantic. It can be someone who's just really there for you, who feels like the other half of you. But by the end of the week, there's a lot of fear. But what I see is that these two cards, guys, you got 7 and you got 8, and this is a very well shuffled deck. You got 7 and 8. It's like you're transitioning. And both of these cards are about willpower. Like the charioteer is pulling the 2 horses to go the same direction. Strength is the virgin who is taming the inner lion of you. I think by the end of the week there's something that kind of threatens your stability, something that might kind of threaten your financial. You might feel a little left out in the cold, or you might feel like you're afraid that something is going to take you out financially. But you're holding it together. You're not letting your fear dominate you. You are feeling it, like you're scared, guys. I feel like you are afraid of being left out in the cold. But the cool thing, and this is beautiful energy, guys, is that while you are terrified, like you're afraid of being left out in the cold or being ostracized, I'm feeling ostracized. There's something happening that you're terrified of that's going to leave you destitute. There's a romantic partner who's there, who's kind of your safe haven. You see how this rainbow looks almost like an umbrella, like a shelter. There's someone there that's going to make you feel sheltered. And this person is going to help almost like buffer you from the storm. And what's amazing is, doesn't it look like snow? But it's not snow in the Lovers. It's snow everywhere else. But you know how sometimes in the beginning of spring, everything gets all fluffy, almost like dandelions? Yeah, like dandelions, right? It almost looks like snow, but it's not. I think in the 5 of Pentacles, you are in snow, though. By the weekend, you're gonna be holding strong. You're gonna be staving off your fear about something. You are gonna feel kind of like destitute. Like something is gonna kind of make you feel afraid. But there's going to be someone there who is like your anchor. It could be your boyfriend or girlfriend or love partner, or just a good friend who's just there for you. But they're going to like shelter you. And what's beautiful is that the jury is still out. You're holding strong about something, guys. And by the end of the week, you're still holding strong. Now, the moon is not, I always say the moon, the key phrase for the moon is feelings are not facts. Feelings are not facts. You can be afraid that something's going to happen and it might not happen. And you know how they always say, like if you've ever read Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, energy follows thought. If you imagine the worst case scenario, you might be putting your energy into that negative. Energy follows thought, where you can manifest something, right? And if you're thinking about what could go wrong, sometimes, you're pouring your energy into what you don't want to happen. Instead, you have someone who might be distracting you, someone who might really be giving you. I don't feel like this is family, though. I do feel like this is like someone that you consider to either be a really close friend or a lover. Like a boyfriend or girlfriend, or someone that you think of that way. Now, your charms is really interesting, guys. First off, right off the cuff, you have 2 signs of leadership, and you have strength, which is the freaking lion. So let me just tell you, and also with the Queen of Pentacles in the Chariot, you are a leader. You've got the stag horns, which really talks about, like, if you've ever seen the movie The Queen with Ellen Mirren, there's a scene, and she portrays Queen Elizabeth, where her car breaks down and she has this connection moment with a stag. That scene in that movie really talks about like her embracing her leadership qualities. You also have the princess crown, and it's in the upright. So what I really see here is that you are a leader, pile one. You're a leader. Now, you've got the octopus in reverse. When I see the octopus, I feel like anytime I see the octopus, I kind of think about having your hands in a million different projects, and I'm so guilty of this. Like, I'll start like 12 different projects. I have a lot of cardinal in my chart. In the earlier in the video, I talked about how I'm Libra and Cancer, which are both cardinal signs. We love to start things. We don't finish a damn thing. If you are Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you love to start things, but you don't finish anything unless you have some kind of fixed in your chart. If you have some kind of fixed sign in your chart, you might finish some stuff. Me, I have a lot of mutable in my chart. I have one fixed sign. I have Scorpio, and when I'm passionate about something, I'll finish it. But the octopus in the reverse kind of tells me that you probably want to par down on what you're doing. You don't want to overwhelm yourself this week. If you can kind of clean house in a sense, that could be hobbies, that could be actual cleaning, it can be relationships. Par down on what you're doing. If you've got like 12 activities going down, cut it down to like maybe 4, right? And there's a great activity that talks about like a stoplight. If you really enjoy an activity, mark it in green. If you kind of like an activity, but you feel like it's kind of draining, mark it in yellow, almost like a yield kind of sign. If you really dread doing something and it brings you no pleasure, you don't like doing it, mark it in red and cut it out of your life. You don't want to waste your energy this week, right? So that's what I think of when I see the octopus in reverse. You got your hands in too many activities. Now, the other one you got the fig leaf, but you got it in reverse. And when I think the fig leaf, I think of that as like the peace sign. Like, you know how in Noah's Ark, and actually we have the Holy Bible here too. All right, I'll get to this in a minute. But in the story of Noah's Ark, the dove brings the fig leaf, and that's kind of after 40 days and 40 nights of rain, which a lot of us, honestly, if you're watching this at the time the video posts, we've had a shit ton of rain. Pardon my French. This video is for over 18. But if you are in Florida, if you're on the Gulf Coast, if you've been subject to Ida, I'm so sorry. If you've had any kind of hurricane, tornado warnings, shit ton of rain, you feel like it is something out of Noah's Ark, you feel like it's been raining for 40 days, 40 nights, and you're just waiting for a fig leaf. It's coming, honey. Your fig leaf is coming. The other thing I get is that you might have a few more days of rain, but then after that, probably towards the end of the week, the sun will come out again. You also got the Holy Bible. And this is really beautiful. I'm not staunchly religious, but whenever I see the Holy Bible, I kind of think of, it's funny. My dad passed a few years ago, and there was one time I was at my stepmom's house, and I looked at the refrigerator, and there was a Bible verse. And I'll put it on the screen. There was a Bible verse that my father had written in his handwriting, and it was very distinctive. And my dad was sick at the time. But that Bible verse pops up for me all the time. And again, I'm not staunchly religious, but I feel like this week, when you're feeling kind of weak, like maybe when you're feeling at your lowest point, like 5 of Pentacles, or you're really hanging on, or you're really fearful, I feel like something is going to pop up that's going to quote some kind of Bible verse, and definitely with the fig leaf, which is kind of the Noah story, or some other Bible story, Bible verse that really speaks to you, that's going to pop up and really speak to you. Now, we've got the hug charm, but we got it in reverse. So by the end of the week, guys, I do feel like you're going to feel like you're out in the cold. And gosh, guys, I feel for you. The other thing is we've got a heart that has like a little Band-Aid on it, but we have the heart in reverse. I do feel like I always feel like there's someone that's kind of making you feel like you're out in the cold, and not in a bad way, but the other thing that happens is sometimes when we're feeling kind of isolated, sometimes it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I definitely know that when I get in a funky mood, sometimes I subliminally send off the vibes that I don't want to be bothered, and then everybody leaves me alone. But I have to admit, there are some brave people in my vicinity that just, they don't care what kind of mood I'm in, and those are the best people for my personality. I'm a very strong personality, and I'll have people be like, "How was your day? How are you doing?" And I'm just like, God, like, my day was fine. How was yours? Like, how you love it, how you have really cool people around you that don't care if you're a little bit of a hard ass. Either that, or what I'm getting, guys, is that how sometimes when you're feeling really down and out, look at this, you got two hearts in the reverse that are upside down. And how sometimes you might even be that personality that when you're in a bad mood, you might isolate yourself. You're feeling really sad, you're feeling really lonely, and you really need, those are the moments when you really need some loving care, but you won't ask for it. You will have someone who recognizes that you're pulling away and will kind of reach out. And all I'm thinking here is, don't be too proud. I'm sorry, I'm hearing, I know it's kind of a dorky song, "I ain't too proud to beg," and it's not like you're begging. It's funny, you might think you're begging and you're not even begging. What it is that you're in a funky ass mood. You don't want to burden, quote unquote, burden anyone, but you need some love. And you think, in your head, you think, "Oh my God, I'm caving. I'm so weak. I need to ask for someone to care about me." But you just kind of putting up, almost like, I do kind of think of it like ships. You know how when you put out the SOS, you kind of shoot up the firecracker, I'm sorry, I am thinking about the Titanic. You know how when you shoot up the life, the firecracker that says, "Look, I'm feeling kind of low." You might want to, you have a lot of pride, guys. The other thing I get is you're really busy, so a lot of times people don't want to bother you, but it'll be worth it for you to just kind of say, "Yeah, I need some love. I need some consideration." Someone will come to your aid if you take down the pride a notch. It's okay to tell someone that you're feeling low. It's okay to tell someone that you're feeling scared. It's okay for you to say, and I get the sense like there's some, please comment if this is resonating, but I really get the sense like a Bible verse is going to pop up for you. And I'm telling you guys, I'll even share a personal story. The Bible verse that I saw in my father's handwriting, it was on our refrigerator at my stepmom's house. I thought that it was a symbol, right? And I should know better because my channel is Soul Symbols, and I get symbols from my dad all the time. But I had randomly turned on cable one night, and I was watching the movie Soul Surfer, which talks about the girl who got bitten by a shark while she was surfing. It had the exact same quote that my dad had written down, and I was flabbergasted. So it might not be the same quote. I think it was Jeremiah, and again, I'll put it up on the screen, but whatever quote it is, you will see, I get the strong sense you will see some kind of Bible quote, and that will be your symbol. That will be your sign, your big flashing neon sign. The other thing is, by the end of the week, you're going to be feeling really kind of afraid. You're going to be holding it together behind the scenes. You're going to feel really left out in the cold. But whatever you do, kind of put out that fig leaf, like kind of put out that symbol. Ask somebody, and someone will come to your aid if you kind of amp down on the pride a little bit. And I promise you, in your own head, you think that you're being crazy vulnerable. You're not being that vulnerable. From the outside world, you still look like a hard ass. So, just if you need some kind of help, someone will come to you and really be your shelter when you're feeling vulnerable. And I get the feeling that that's going to happen over the weekend. Wow, guys. Oh my gosh. Pile 1. That was deep. That was really deep. Let me go ahead and put your charms here. But yeah, definitely look for that Bible verse. And I don't know, I don't know if you're getting a lot of rain this week, but I'm serious. I'm getting some Noah vibes from pile 1. Serious Noah vibes. All right, so deck number 2. We've got the Zillich Tarot. Deck number 2. What's our energy for the week? Okay. Ooh, Emperor. Hey, middle of the week, please. Ooh, okay. End of the week. Second time we've gotten, is that no, 5 of Pentacles. Okay, I know this seems like a lot of cards. Holy Toledo. Points and discs. Hierophant. 5 of discs. There we go. 5 Pentacles again. I think that's going to be our common denominator card. All right. Now this gets a little bit loud. I'm going to be pulling your charms. So if you're sensitive to noise, please turn down the volume. In 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay, we have a jumper. Oh, crapioca. Ooh, sorry to push. Okay, please don't. Okay. Oh, I moved the camera. Sorry, hold on a second. All right. Let's move the camera back. Sorry, guys. Please don't look at my legs. I have not had a chance to work out, and I work out, I walk, but it's not the same. All right. Wow, guys. Okay, very clearly, what had hit the floor was one of our little letter cubes, and it did have had an M, and it had the number 5 next to it, which really kind of means change or conflict. But we're gonna get into that. All right, so deck number 2, beginning of the week, you got the 3 of Wands and you got the Emperor. So over the weekend, you are the man with the master plan, and you can be the woman. You could be the woman with the master plan. But over the weekend, you were really looking forward to the future, and you have a plan. Like, the Emperor is the King of Kings. Like, the Emperor knows it's his way or the highway, right? The Emperor is my way or the highway card. Like, I know how I want things. It's Aryan energy. It's like, it's taking action. It's knowing the action you want to take. It's very direct. It's no bullshit, pile 2. It's like, I know what I want to do. And it's almost like you're waiting. It's like you're looking towards the future. So there's some kind of action that you've already put that you've already put into action. Like, I'm sorry, action that you've put into action. Sorry. Excuse me, hiccup. That's kind of like repetitive. But I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little funny. As I mentioned in the beginning, my jaw has been kind of bothering me, so I'm a little stiff when I talk. So don't, please don't judge me for the way that I seem to be a little slow in my speech. But I get the sense like you're waiting for the results of something, and you very meticulously already put these, you've taken steps towards this result, but you're waiting for the result, right? But you're almost waiting for it in a really authoritative way. So over the weekend, it's almost like you're waiting for your ships to come in, but you know those ships are coming in. Like you're, and to put it in a more modern context, maybe you're waiting for some kind of package to arrive. Maybe you're waiting for some kind of result of something. Just one other way that I can read it is sometimes the Emperor can rule the head or the jaw. So maybe you could be waiting for the results of something. But I do get the sense like you're almost kind of in a very authoritative kind of way. You're waiting to see the results of something. And I know that sounds kind of funny, but one other thing is that in this card, I do kind of take in consideration the illustration, and you see in this card, someone's kind of holding their head. They have their hand on their head, and the Emperor is a very Aryan energy, which also rules the head. Sometimes Aries, when you're moving too fast, you usually end up with head injuries, like not in a weird way, but sometimes when I'm rushing, if I'm doing something kind of impulsive, sometimes I'll hit my head. I remember one time I was like lunging for something and I cracked myself right in the forehead. The other thing I kind of get is that maybe you're kind of trying to fix something and you're fixing something in kind of an authoritative way. You've already taken the steps to correct something, and you're almost watching it kind of like an emperor over the weekend, waiting for it to resolve itself. Now, by the middle of the week, you have the Knight of Discs, and in this deck, knights are kings. So this is the King of Pentacles. By the middle of the week, I'm getting some really strong alpha kind of male energy. You can be a woman in this energy for sure. But by the middle of the week, it's almost like you're feeling kind of like the king of the roost, right? And you can be a woman in this energy. So by the middle of the week, you might be dealing with like a King of Pentacles. You might be dealing with someone who's kind of like a financial leader. It can be a father. You could be talking to someone about some kind of investment opportunity, but I really get the sense like this is your energy. And with all this kind of green in the background, and definitely if you're watching this at the time the video posts, it could be, we're coming towards the end of summer. So you might be really, I get this with both of these cards. You see someone sitting and watching. So I don't know if you're kind of watching some kind of investment or you're watching something unfold that's going to benefit you financially. And by the middle of the week, it's going to be kind of quiet. I really get kind of a lazy Wednesday night, but I do get the sense like you're just monitoring. Like you're monitoring, you're sitting back. The other thing I get here is that maybe by the middle of the week you could be providing for someone. And again, you can be a woman in the King of Pentacles energy. You might be paying off some bills or putting money towards something. You're kind of leaning back and seeing the results of your harvest is what I'm getting here. So I do get the sense like you've been waiting for something to come in. This could be some kind of direct deposit or something financial that you've been kind of just waiting and watching. But the harvest of it is kind of, you'll kind of see that benefit by the middle of the week. The other thing I get is that maybe if you are putting money towards something, maybe you're helping out a family member, maybe you're supporting something, maybe you're making a principal payment on something. By the middle of the week, I feel like you get the sense like you're just slowly and steadily following a plan that you have. And it's not sudden, it's not exciting, but each one of these actions is very calculated, and it's bringing you financial abundance. Either that, or you could be sending money to someone where you just, they always say there's a great reader here on YouTube that talks about the Knight of Pentacles is called the, daddy's home kind of card, and not in a weird way, but you can be a woman in this energy. Maybe you're paying off a bill for someone, or, it's kind of like that energy, like, okay, I got the bill, now it's paid. I always think of that stamp that just shows like, okay, ka-chunk. It's funny. I just went to my auto dealer the other day, and I had to have a tire on my car fixed, and I was very grateful. I got the tire patched instead of having to replace all 4 tires. And you know how they have that little ka-chunker stamp, when you run the payment, when they run my car, they go chunk, paid. That's what I'm kind of getting. Paid. paid. No, I'm sorry. I listen to vinyl a lot too. So, what is it? That's Aretha Franklin. Change. Or, I know the song, but that's kind of what I get. It's slow, steady progress, and it's progress that you anticipated. There's such a mellow energy here. Like, okay, that bill's due on Wednesday. Here's my card. Run the card. Ka-ching. Stamp that receipt. Ka-chunk. It's paid. I'm good. They're good. We're good. All good in the financial hood, right? Now, by the end of the week, this energy really kind of changes a little bit. And this is interesting. This is really interesting. It almost speeds up a little bit. It's really kind of slow and steady here. But then you got the Prince of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. You got the 5 of Cups. You got the 9 of Wands, which really talks about victory. Then you got the 10 of Discs, the Queen of Cups, and the 7 of Discs. There's some kind of investment, possibly with a family member. It could be a mother type figure. It could be an ex. It could be a sister, or I'm not really getting Empress vibes from this. Please clarify. Ace of Wands. Okay, yes, I do almost get like it's a romantic kind of partner. If this is your energy, you might be dealing with a masculine that you've had romantic ties to in the past. But it is almost like you're discerning how much you've invested into this person. There is like a victory, but it's funny, you have victory, but you also have disappointment. I think by the weekend, I'm getting a strong sense, like, not to sound funny, guys, but if you're a woman watching this, maybe you've been dealing with a man who's a little bit flaky, someone who's kind of in and out of your life. They come back around and you go out on a date and it feels kind of exciting. Like it almost feels like really victorious. Like, yay, they're coming back around. They want to hang out with me. But then when you go out to dinner with them, it's a little bit fleeting. Maybe they seem a little distracted. Maybe they just don't feel like they're 100% there. They're not 100% invested. And you're starting to question, okay, you have a sense of self, you have a sense of self-worth that this person really isn't kind of living up to. It's almost like they're kind of, you feel excited when they come around, but then there's an equal sense of disappointment with it too. There's something that just doesn't quite feel right when you get around this person, and it makes you start to question. It makes you start to think, okay, how much have I invested in this? Is this the wise choice? The other thing that I kind of get is that if you are a man watching this, maybe you do have some kind of family ties to someone. And I am getting just kind of like one second it feels really like you feel really on top of the world, but then the next minute it just feels kind of hollow. And you kind of feel, not to sound funny, but you see how this person looks like a jester? You almost kind of feel like a joke. And I don't mean that in a condescending way, but it's just like, by the end of the week, you feel like someone is kind of in and out of your life. And you're starting to question, there's extreme highs and then there's extreme lows with this person. And, the funny thing is that this person seems, I'm hearing that song, She's So High Above Me. And this can be a guy too, he's so high above me. Like when they get around you, you feel like you're top of the world, but that only lasts for so long. And then they just pop back out of your life again. It's almost like they bring a lot of excitement, but it's very fleeting. And it makes you start to question, is it worth it? Are the highs and lows worth it? Right? The other thing I get is like the sense of self that you have. It's you want to make that a priority. You don't want to be with someone who makes you feel up and down and up and down. Now, your charms are really interesting. First off, we got the little coffee. So it's quite possible maybe someone asks you out for coffee, like someone asks for a coffee date. And this tile flipped. It was, well, we have it on X, but we have it on X in the reverse. So not to sound funny, guys, you might have an X that's coming back around, maybe around the weekend. And we have the dolphin that really talks about playful fun. Like, it talks about kind of being yourself, like just being kind of joyous. We do also have the star, which is like hope, or like a really, again, hopeful situation. We have the piñata. I always kind of look at the piñata like a surprise. It's going to be a good time, but the other thing about the piñata is you had to be blindfolded when you're hitting it, right? You also have a key here, and this is like the key for a jewelry box. You have the rose, which kind of makes me think of Beauty and the Beast, like really knowing, like you might be surrounded by someone who was a little bit arrogant in the past, like someone who is kind of, how the rose talked about the selfish prince that was turned into a beast. So you might be dealing with someone who has a little bit of beastly tendencies. The other thing we have is we have an M with a 5 next to it, and sometimes that can mean like conflict. We do have the 5 of Cups, which means disappointment. So I would just say, honestly, guys, you might come back into contact with someone who wants to go out with you. Maybe someone calls and asks you to go out for coffee, and it seems really kind of lighthearted or kind of fun or non-committal, and it feels like such a hopeful situation. But just bear in mind there is a 5 here, so there's a little bit of a chance of this person disappointing you, not in a bad way, but I think this person has a lot of things that they have to work out, like with the rose, like Beauty and the Beast. It's like this person might have been a little bit selfish in the past, and the Knight of the Knight of Wands is really like that. They're kind of in and out, in your life, and really exciting, and then out of your life. But the key really does talk about unlocking that. I do think that this feels like some kind of victory, like maybe someone that you've really been wanting to talk to or really wanting to hang out with comes back around. But I think that you understand the truth of it. There's something that needs to be unlocked in this person. almost like Beast and Beauty and the Beast. You know, there's something that this person needs to grow through. They need to grow up before they can really be there for you. So I think that, and this could be an ex, it could be someone from your past, right? That's coming back around. I don't think that you're going to I think with the Seven of Pentacles, you are going to use caution. Like, you're going to know what you've been through with this person. You're not going to just fall for it. You're going to remember what disappointments you've had previously. But it is going to feel real exciting to be around this person, because the Knight of Wands is like that. They make you feel alive. That's their personality. But I do also think that you're a very grounded person, and you're going to remember. You're going to remember how much you've invested if this is a past person. And just know that, just like with the piñata, you're blindfolded and you don't know what kind of treats are inside of that piñata. So you can have fun, you can enjoy the moment, but just remember that sometimes this person might have some shadow lessons, some shadow work that they really have to work through. But I think that you're a very wise person. Again, I'm seeing a lot of stable energy from you. So I don't think that you're going to be taken off guard, but I do think that, this person does make you feel very alive. And, again, I get the sense like they might be asking you out for coffee, and that just feels like such a treat. The other thing is that they might be telling or sharing with you something that's been going on in their life that was a secret. Like you're unlocking some kind of secret that's going on with them. All right, so deck number 3, we have the Morgan Greer Tarot. So let's go ahead. Okay, we got the Sun, Justice. Okay, 2 majors right off the bat. Middle of the week, please. Oh, we got the Queen of Pentacles again. She's a common denominator. Okay. And the Star. Okay, end of the week, please. Let's clarify the Ten of Pentacles. Please clarify one card to clarify the Ten of Pentacles, please. Go with that one. Oh, wow, I'm getting a very clear story here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get your charms. Now, this gets a little bit loud, so again, if you have the volume turned up, please turn it down a little bit, because this just gets a little loud as we're shuffling. So, in 3, 2, 1, dig deep. Okay. Oh, wow, what's this? Oh, I love it. Wow. Oh, this is interesting, guys. Very interesting. All right. So beginning of the week. Okay. First off, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 major arcana. So this is a big week, honestly. Over the weekend and into the weekend, into Monday, you've got the Sun and you've got Justice. Wow, what a beautiful combination, guys. You know what I almost feel when I see this combination is I think vindication. I think in the last week, maybe you had someone who was kind of coming at you, maybe trying to cut you down, or something was going on that really kind of made you feel like a victim or just made you feel powerless. And it's almost like over the weekend, you're not letting it bother you. I do get the sense like you're trusting in a higher power. You're trusting in a higher truth. You know that justice will be served and you're not letting it bother you. The other thing I get is if you're watching this at the time the video posts, you might actually be spending time in the sun or enjoying the weekend. Enjoying the weekend, going outdoors. This time of year, it is kind of sunflower season. I mean, that was really kind of a couple weeks ago, but maybe you really are going to, maybe you're seeing sunflowers, or I'm getting more of a sense of just kind of glowing, like you're just kind of glowing. The other thing I get is that I kind of get this sense of confidence from something. You know how sometimes when there has been an unfair situation and some kind of judgment gets, the universe kind of sorts things out in your favor, and it isn't being like impartial. It's not like saying you're right and the other person's wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's more like it's just doing what's balanced, right? It's just doing what's right. And something about over the weekend, you feel really, again, I'm getting like vindicated. Like maybe you were accused of something and the truth comes to light and you're like, yes, see, this was what I was talking about, right? Or some kind of fight that you have, you know, maybe someone comes up and says, look, you were right. I'm sorry, I was wrong. You know, it's kind of like that feeling. The other thing that I just get is that over the weekend, you might feel just really balanced. You might be spending, this might be like a work and home kind of balance. But I do, sorry guys. Oh my God, it's been a long day. But I do almost get kind of like, I am getting more of like a fairness that's going to make you feel good. Like, going to make you feel happy, you know, like justice has been served, right? Something fair has occurred, and it's because you did the right thing that it ruled in your favor, and it just makes you feel very vindicated. By the middle of the week, this is beautiful energy. You've got the Queen of Pentacles above the star. So I do get the sense, if this is some kind of legal case, maybe by the middle of the week you're actually receiving money, or by the middle of the week you just kind of know your own value and you feel like anything is possible, right? Like you have almost like, I'm getting new lease on life. Like you feel like there's a new lease on life. The other thing I get is that I feel like you're kind of making practical plans. Like by the middle of the week, you know what course of action you want to take. If you need to pay off any bills, or if you need to make any arrangements, you know exactly like what you want to do and how you want to pay things off. But honestly, I'm getting more of like a self-confidence, like a sense of self-worth, and a hope that things are going to get better. Like things will just get better. Now, by the end of the week, you've got the 10 of Pentacles, and underneath it, you got the 4 of Swords, you got Judgment, and the Page of Pentacles. We've got so much practical energy here, guys. By the end of the week, you might be dealing with family matters. Sometimes the 10 of Pentacles can represent institutions, like it can represent where you work. But here I am getting more of like kind of a family vibe. And underneath it, it's almost like the 4 of Swords is like, you know what I really got from this when I first saw this combination? You might be kind of resting a little bit. Again, you might have come through kind of a stressful time that you really emerged with like a new sense of confidence and hope. And it might be that your family is really there to support you. It could be a spouse. What I'm also getting is it could be a family member, like while you're resting, while you're recouping, another family member might be really a source of inspiration for you or a sense of guidance. You know how sometimes you turn to your family, you turn to your grandfather, your father, your uncle, your mother, to kind of guide you as you go through difficult points in your life. And you might be kind of resting and kind of sitting back in your laurels, but your family is really, the other thing I get is maybe your family is being a really good example to you. And when I see a couple here, this could be your parents. It could be other family members like your cousin and their husband, or your sister and their husband. Someone is being a real inspiration, like they're being a positive example to you. And here it's almost like you're taking time out, you're taking like a mental break by the end of the week. But it's almost like while you're meditating or while you're resting, you're deciding very slowly the direction you need to go. And it's almost like the universe, I get the sense like the universe is kind of speaking to you during those kind of rest times. And it doesn't necessarily have to be meditation. It can be meditation, but I think it could be through your dreams. I know sometimes I just like to lie down and take a nap, or not even really sleep. I just kind of close my eyes and rest a little bit. And it's amazing how the problems that are kind of weighing on my mind really kind of, the solutions kind of come to me when I turn my mind off a little bit. And that's what I'm kind of getting here. I think over the weekend, if you turn your mind off a little bit, maybe if you just lie down, if you get in the hammock a little bit. The other thing I kind of get is that I really get the sense like you might be getting inspired by example of another family member. And I get the feeling like it's a couple. It's not just one person that's inspiring you, it's a couple. So it could be your parents, it could be your grandparents, it could be your great uncle, it could be your sister and their husband, it could be your brother and his wife. There's some kind of couple that's really inspiring you on where you should go, but it's almost kind of subliminal. Like you're watching, they're leading you by example. Now, your charms are really interesting, guys. First off, you got the clipboard, but you got it upside down, like face down. So I really kind of see that like the Four of Swords. I get the feeling like now is not the time for you to be real nitpicky, right? Like you shouldn't be doing some kind of checklist. I think the universe is sending you solutions in a really kind of spiritual way, and that's not like going down a checklist. It's a little bit organic, and it's a little bit more, the solutions come to you through the ether. They don't come to you when you're overly thinking about something. Now, the other thing we got is we got the parrot, but we got it upside down. So this kind of reminds me of maybe maybe you're avoiding gossip. Because I do kind of think of the parrot of like repeating, like the parrots like to copy people or mimic people. And maybe you're avoiding kind of copycat people, or maybe you're avoiding petty gossip. The other thing we have is we have the 7 in reverse, which the 7 really talks about like kind of an uneven or unequal balance of things. And what I'm seeing is everything in your life is very balanced. So what that kind of tells me is I think you're avoiding petty people. You're avoiding, if you're avoiding any half-ass, and pardon my French, you're avoiding any half-ass investments this week. If you feel like you're not 100% invested in something, you're not bothering with it. You're not calling them. You're not talking to them. You're not investing any energy into anything that is not a guarantee, like 100% return, right? Now, you've got the sloth in upside down. So with all this earth energy, I think you're in a very productive energy. I don't think that you're not lazing around. Now, the Four of Swords can talk about meditation, but it's almost like with all this earth energy, I think it's like active meditation. Like I know when I sit down and I do things, when I create crafts with my hands, like I love paper craft, so I like to scrapbook and create cards. Sometimes when I get craftsy with my hands, I'm actively doing something. It's not like I'm sleeping. But I sometimes kind of get into a zone where mental thoughts become very clear to me when I'm doing things with my hands. So that's what I almost kind of see here too. I do think by the end of the week, it's almost like that practicality you're seeing more as an example with other people. Now, we do also have the wine glass, but we have it upside down. So one thing I kind of get from that is that I do kind of get the sense like you might be abstaining from alcohol, and particularly wine. And you might be doing that to help gain some clarity, guys. So maybe you are kind of having a dry couple of days if you do like to, and no harm in that if you like to indulge in a glass or two of wine. But it's almost like you're doing it intentionally to keep clear-headed. Either that, or if you're around family members who like to imbibe a little bit more, maybe you're refraining from that to be an example to others, or maybe others are being an example to you of how to not have to. I know sometimes when you go out to dinner, you know, it's automatically assumed, oh yeah, just go ahead, get a beer, get a glass of wine. Maybe as you're going out to dinner parties, you're like, no, thank you, I pass. And that's more of like a family type of tradition that you're refraining from this week. And it's making you very clear-headed. Like it's letting you be clear-headed. Now we do have the heart, and it's upside down, and this is the open heart. So honestly, guys, what I see with that charm is I don't think that you're being very open heart-wise, but I don't think that's you being cold. I just think that you're not ready to share your feelings yet. Again, with Judgment and Page of Pentacles, I think you're very slowly moving towards, you're getting messages kind of subliminally of where you want to go next. And I think you know whatever you go towards is going to be very solid. So by the end of the week, it's almost like you want to kind of open yourself up in a spiritual kind of practical way. I do get this almost like in a physical kind of purging way. Honestly, not to sound strange, guys, but you might be doing some kind of fasting. Maybe you have a family member who's like, oh yeah, I went on that smoothie purge diet where I didn't eat any solids, but I drank only like kale smoothies for 3 days. There's something physical here that you're kind of cleansing your body. The other thing that I get is that I do think that through some kind of physical activity, because I don't think that you can be completely still. I don't think that you're meditating, but I think there's some kind of activity that you do with your hands or physically, or that you see as an example through a couple, you know, like I do get the sense like you're learning by watching, by leaning back and watching. I also do think that you are staying productive. You're not being lazy. I think you're avoiding gossip, or you're avoiding people who would kind of, who are more superficial, or I think you're avoiding people who like to gossip, like people who will parrot what you say, or you're avoiding people who want to copy you. And you are kind of keeping your emotions to yourself. You are kind of closing off, but you're doing it in kind of a learner's kind of way. And I do get the sense like maybe you are doing some kind of purging of, you might be purging kind of substances, like you might be going like 3 days without drinking. You might be going a few days without eating any carbohydrates. I do kind of get the feeling like there's some kind of physical purge that you're doing, and that might have been inspired by someone. But by the weekend, you're going to feel very, very healthy. I do, again, think that you have some kind of inspiration. Oh my gosh, I just dropped all your charms. I'm sorry. Hold on, guys. Oh my goodness. I just tossed all of your charms. I'm sorry. Ooh, one flew across the room. Okay. But yeah, that's really positive, guys. I feel like you're being productive. You're not being a real open book. You're being kind of quiet and reserved, but you're getting a lot done behind the scenes. That's the other thing. And I do think that you're avoiding gossipy people. You're not surrounding yourself with anybody who will talk smack. And but that's a really productive week, guys. That's really, really good. I think you're doing great. And but I do think that you'll be inspired by a couple or someone in your family that really just kind of shows you, like, I'm hearing hashtag couple goals, relationship goals. When someone around you is a really positive example and you want to emulate that, and you do that kind of in a quiet, kind of observative way. But all right, guys. So, wow, that was a powerful week. I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope everyone has a really great week, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.